Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me back if you're a returning person. I just wanted to kind of go over, in the last video, I had said I'd moved to Florida quite a few times and back. So I kind of wanted to, just kind of let people know who I am and what I've done and where I'm going and what I might be doing. And all my videos aren't just going to be me standing here talking, but I thought in the beginning to just get started, this is what I would do. Just start explaining to people who I am and the stupid things I've done in my life. So, when my daughter graduated high school, she joined the military, and I needed something different in my life. I had been single since she was 2 years old, um, and I've always just been very independent, and I had money in the bank, and I decided just to take off and move to Florida for a new experience, new adventure, maybe meet somebody down there, whatever. So I did, and I got an apartment there for a year. And after about a year and a month, I was looking for another apartment because I didn't like where I lived. Obviously, I didn't know where to get an apartment at. When I went down there, I got the cheapest apartment I could find, close to the beach. So after living there a while, I realized this was not the place that I wanted to have an apartment. And because of where it was located literally on the line of Scientology headquarters is here and the hood is here. And I'm right directly on the line. So, but you had to go through the headquarters of Scientology to get to the beach. So, needless to say, I moved home for about a year and a half and went back to work in the trailer factory, the RV factory, because the RV industry, we make good money. And so I went back to work for there, saved some more money, and decided to go back to Florida because it was just too cold in Indiana. Way too cold. And I have arthritis, and I've been here my whole life, and I'm sick of it. So and by this point, by moving to Florida, I actually met people, so I knew people down there. So I contacted somebody I knew, not only that could give me work right away, but could help me find a place to stay. So it just so happened he lived on the beach, and the apartment next door to him became available, which was great because it was right on the intercoastal and a block from the beach. So not only could I find a job on the beach and just walk to work or ride my bike, which was awesome, I could walk to the beach anytime I wanted, day, night, and I had view of the intercoastal. Now, after living there for 3 years, I was trying to get my brother to move down with me because 2 out of the 3 of his children moved to Tampa. So he really wanted to come to Florida at this point. So I decided that I didn't want to lose my apartment, and the only way I could go to back home for a little bit was to sublease my apartment in order to keep it. So I just so happened to know somebody who needed a place to stay while they were looking for a place to live. So this guy was going to sublease my apartment, and while I went back home to Michigan to remodel my brother's place and get it up for sale and sell it for him. So the day I'm going to hand the keys over to this guy, now mind you, I can't say names of who these people are, but the guy that I'm subleasing my apartment to, he's a macho guy. And the reason I say that, his cousin is one of the world champion fighters of the world. And like I said, I'm not going to say names because it's irrelevant, and I don't know if I'd get in trouble for saying their name. But anyway, so the guy was like, a macho guy. So as I hand him the keys, I have to tell him that there's a spirit in my apartment. And for those, and I know people don't believe, and I totally get it. I didn't believe until it happened to me. And I've lived in several houses that have had spirits in it, so they don't bother me now. I'm used to it. It doesn't freak me out. I don't think people are crazy. They are real and they are out there. So I had to tell this guy that there was a spirit in my apartment. And the look on this guy's face was priceless. You know, he's just thinking I'm some crazy lunatic. Even though this guy knew me, it took 4 days. And this guy calls me and was like, "You crazy B word." And I'm like, "What's the matter? What happened?" And he's like, "I swear to God," he goes, "you put that crap in my head." And he goes, "That first night," he goes, "I went out drinking, so I was drunk." And mind you, you live on the beach. That's what people do the first couple days they're there on the beach. You go to the bar and you get drunk because you can walk home. So he goes, the second night, he goes, I go to bed sober. He goes, because I want to be clear minded to see if this is really happening or if you just put this in my head and you're some crazy witch. So I said, "What happened?" And he says, "Well, your spirit, ghost," he goes, "whatever you want to call it, did exactly what you said it was going to do." And this ghost, every night, would kick the end of your bed and would not let you go to sleep. Or he would sit on the edge of the bed and you'd feel the bed move and da 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 da. And so I asked him, I said, "What did you do?" He goes, "Well, I got up, turned the light on, had a conversation with the ghost." And that's what I told him to do, you know. Even though he'll still probably bother you, just let him know that you know this is his apartment and you're just here visiting and that you're not going to harm anything. Because I lived there for 3 years and that's the only thing the ghost ever did. It kept me up at night a lot. Not every night, but a lot of nights. There was times he would sit on my bed and rub my leg. He would kick the end of my bed. And mind you, I had a wooden frame, so you could literally just sit there and kick it and it would bounce off the wall. He would flicker the lights at night, mainly at night when I was in the kitchen alone. And he would drop things on the floor. And mind you, this is a small apartment, and the whole apartment's tile floor. So you would know that there was nobody in the apartment, and then something just fell on the floor. Whether it be like a coin or like a little dish, you would hear things hit the floor, and then you would turn around and look, and there'd be nothing there. I mean, because the apartment was big enough, you could literally just look around and be like, "Okay, I'm looking at every floor, there's nothing on the ground." But I think the ghost did it it was his entertainment, you know. I don't think he realized that he was stuck there. And I sure didn't tell him to go to the light because it was amusing to me. You know, and until I have dishes being thrown at me and furniture flying across the room, I'm okay with spirits being in my house. I don't know about the rest of you people, but I am. Comment below if you believe in spirits or ever had a spirit in your house because I would love to hear it. I'm really into those stories. So, anyways, I go back home and I remodel my brother's trailer. I get it sold, and he ends up deciding he's not ready to move to Florida. So, he ends up living in the basement of some friend's house, which I have no idea why, but he did. So, by the time I get back to Florida to my apartment, this is March now. In 2 weeks, I'm literally at my apartment. COVID hits and shuts down the whole world. I'm in full blown panic mode now. What do I do? Because I've got paid underneath the table for the past, I don't know how many years while I worked there. I can't file unemployment, so now I can't pay my rent, and I don't know what to do. So I do the smart, intelligent thing, and I pack up. I get a U-Haul, I pack everything up, and I go back home to my brother's or to my mother's house, not my brother, my mother. And I try to get a job back in the trailer factory, which I do. And I ended up getting my own apartment, and that's where I'm at now. I'm back in Indiana in an apartment, working back in the trailer factory. And when I say we make good money, we make dang good money. I mean, I'm making over $50 an hour, and I work just barely 40 hours a week. But right now it's slow season, so we're working 8 days a month right now. So it's extremely slow. But my plan is to either save money to buy a mobile home somewhere in the South, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Florida, but somewhere warm, or I'm going to buy an RV That way I can move from maybe state to state. Like I've been single for almost 20 years and I've never had anybody to rely on. I've never met anybody that I am compatible with or that wouldn't cheat on me or wouldn't lie to me or that didn't beat me. So that's pretty much why I've been single this whole time. And if I ever met somebody, I would move anywhere they wanted me to, but that's never happened. So I'm just saving my money until I have enough money to go buy something and do what I need to do because I know I don't want to stay here in Indiana. So that's my plan. And I sit at home every night. I don't go anywhere. Every now and then I'll go to the bar to get something to eat and then come back home. But I don't go out, so I don't meet anybody. And I wish I could, but I'm lonely. But what do you do? You're 50 years old. There's not too many people out there that want a 50-year-old woman. And the ones that do are either too young or way too old. Well, I need somebody my age that, likes to go treasure hunting or exploring or who's into woodworking or construction. Because I am a hands on person. I can frame a house, I can lay your concrete, I can do anything. I can paint, I can be creative and make things. I love to go on walks on the beaches. So that's just kind of been my life for the last 7 years in Florida. I've just been doing me, even though it's been lonely. I just figure I'll get through it eventually, and either I'm going to die an old lady or I'm going to die a happy old lady with somebody. I don't know. Um, but I do want to hear though the people that comment on the spirits because I really want to hear that. And I know I'm kind of going back and forth, but like I said, I'm new to this and I'm just learning and I really want to do this. So like again, I just want you people to get to know me and hopefully you like me and you enjoy watching these videos because I'm going to make one every day right now for a while just so everybody can kind of get to know me and, you know, hopefully keep on coming back and we'll do some explorations and adventures and things like that, shopping sprees and whatever, But right now, like I said, I'm just sitting at home and I figure since I'm sitting here, I might as well start doing this and telling everybody my story and who I am and what I like to do and why I sit here depressed every day. Just like probably half the world that is, because everybody's going crazy these days sitting at home doing nothing. So I thought I would join the rest of the people and try to act like I have somebody to talk to because I'm bored out of my mind sitting here. So now at least I have somebody to talk to, the camera. But I'm just going to pretend it's my audience. So, with that said, though, I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a good night and good rest of the day, and we'll talk again. Bye.